Hey, boys and girls. It's time for Uncle Jay Explains the News. Now here's the guy who helps little minds understand big news stories, Uncle Jay.
Hi, boys and girls. Well, the conventions are finally over, and we can move on from those hours of empty political speeches to minutes of empty political commercials. In fact, that's sort of what Uncle Jay's news word for this week is about: distraction. A distraction is anything that takes your attention away from... Some distractions can't be helped, but some are on purpose. For instance, all the presidential candidates have either had too many embarrassments in their careers or not enough, and so they change the subject to things like marriage and babies, usually in that order, but whatever. Well, of course, one very real distraction has been the weather. Thank goodness Hurricane Gustav wasn't too terrible. But more storms are happening, and people are frantically preparing for them, boys and girls, so that when the storms hit, they'll be ready to tell us God's messages in the storms. The message is always the same, that every disaster, or lack of one, proves that everything they were saying was right. 100% accuracy. They should be working for the Weather Channel. Well, a very welcome is whenever a new video game hits the streets. The new version of that hugely popular musical game where you get to play along with your favorite songs. Songs you bought years ago, but now you get to buy them all again. They sound just as good, and sometimes even not. And now it's time to answer one of your news questions. This week it comes from Nathan in Fargo, North Dakota. Hi, Nathan. Nathan writes, Dear Uncle Jay, people are talking about the Cold War coming back. Our history class only got to about Pearl Harbor last year, so I'm not sure what the Cold War was. But how can it come back now that there's global warming? Thanks, Nathan. Sounds like your school left a child or two behind. The Cold War was called that because the U.S. and the Russians were enemies for a long time, but there never was an all-out war, thank goodness. Now, though, that Russia has invaded another country, people are worried about the U.S. reaction because, we are the only ones who are supposed to do that. The Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev, tried to reassure the world when he said, speaking just for myself, I think people should just chill about the Cold War. Don't forget, you can see more news questions and answers at Uncle Jay's website. Send your questions to Uncle Jay at UncleJayExplains.com. Check back every Monday when Uncle Jay explains the news. And remember, a good kid is good news.